You guys, I literally just took my 15-minute break, filmed a whole entire video, and my SD card was not in my camera. Oh my god. I was always really filled with self-doubt when it came to nursing. It's gonna be hard, but you can do hard things. Hey besties, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I am so glad you're here. If you're new to my channel, my name's Vickie and I make content surrounding being a former pre-nursing student, hopefully an actual nursing student soon. We kind of do a little bit of everything around here. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Like the video if you like it, share it with a friend, and let's go ahead and get started. So guys, if I'm being honest, this is the third time I filmed this video. I filmed it yesterday and it was very like, daunting and not negative, but it was like, I was like preparing you to go into battle or something. And I'm like, I'm gonna scare people off from going to college while they have kids. And I never wanna do that. I'm here to try to inspire you and make sure that, remind you that we can do hard things and all that good stuff. And then I filmed it again, and then my memory card wasn't in my camera, so I had to start all over. So now here we are filming it again for the third time, but third time's the charm, right? So we're just gonna get it done. So in today's video, I'm gonna be giving you all of my tips and all my secrets that I use to survive pre-nursing school. As a parent, I was in pre-nursing for quite a long time. I've been in school for even longer, so if that's something you're interested in, then just keep on watching. So I thought it would be helpful to start with giving you guys kind of a background of where I was at and kind of what my life looked like while I was in pre-nursing. Altogether, my pre-nursing classes took me about 5 years. I've changed my major quite a few times, but altogether, when I finally decided that nursing was what I wanted to pursue, it was probably about 5 years from start to finish. So it took me quite a while. I was always really filled with self-doubt when it came to nursing. I didn't think it was something that I was capable of. I didn't think it was something that I was smart enough for, something I didn't think that I could handle. But when I finally decided to go for it, I went full steam ahead, working full-time, had both the kids, was taking 6 classes at a time. It was not a good situation. And my husband, who was literally the most supportive, like amazing man in the whole world, he was like, yeah, I support you, you know, we'll figure it out, just do what you got to do, enroll in your classes, and you know, let's get going on it. So I went a little too hard in the paint and took 5-6 classes at a time to start with, and it was a lot. It was a lot on me. It was a lot on our marriage. It was a lot on the kids. And my hope for this video is just to kind of give you guys my tips and things to avoid that I made the same mistake time and time again, thinking that I just couldn't hack it and I just needed to, you know, put my head down and grind and get through it, when at the end of the day, I think I went about it the wrong way. And that's, again, what I'm hoping to convey to you guys. I'm not trying to scare anybody off from going to college while you have kids, because you can do it. We can do hard things, but there are certainly ways to go about it that will make your life a lot easier while you're doing it. So with that being said, let's get into my tips for surviving pre-nursing school as a parent. My first tip is to be realistic with your workload. It's really easy to convince ourselves that, oh yeah, I can pick up this overtime shift and then I'll just do all my schoolwork on this day or that day, when you already had a pretty good plan in place to begin with, right? But then life happens and people ask you to do stuff, or can you help me with this, or can you pick up this shift, or you know, whatever the case may be, when in reality sometimes you're gonna have to say no, and you want to make sure that you're giving yourself a buffer. That is the best thing you can do for yourself, is to allocate more time than you think you're gonna need to get everything done. You can also manage your workload by being strategic about when you're taking what classes. So I went to a traditional community college where you could pick the classes that you were taking. So with that being said, I would normally take a science class and then an easier class like an English or a psychology. So that really is going to depend on your strengths as a student. Math and science are not my jam. Anything with writing, I can write all day, no problem. So I would always take something that was more writing focused and then a class that was more difficult for me. If I didn't have a math or a science class that would be hard for me, then I would go ahead and take maybe 3, but 2 was really my sweet spot that I found after the whole train wreck of taking 5 at a time. So I would really just try to be as realistic as possible with your workload and allocate more time than what you think you're gonna need to get your stuff done. My second tip is to get yourself a planner. Live by your planner, write everything down in your planner. You want to write when your assignments are due, when you have exams. You want to carve out your date nights even. Having a planner and keeping everything all in one place is really going to set you up for success in the way that you don't want to make plans, the day before you have an exam or a paper due or something like that. You want to make sure that you are as organized as possible, and that's really going to help take as much stress off of you as possible. Tip number 3, and this one is really important for saving time. You have to figure out what kind of a learner you are and run with that. So for me, unfortunately, the way that I learn best is writing. So I would rewrite all of my notes. That would take a lot of time, but that's just the way that I learn. But if you're more of a visual learner, then maybe you can skip watching hours and hours of lecture or hours and hours of reading in your textbook and maybe go on YouTube and find a couple of videos that are going to explain the content that you need to learn in a much faster time. You want to be able to maximize the time that you're spending on school so you're not having to try a bunch of different methods and have none of them really stick. You are still going to have to study, of course, but it's such a time saver if reading isn't the best way that you learn, then don't waste hours and hours reading. You want to be able to find the way that you learn best to save yourself the tears and the stress and the mental breakdowns trying to learn things in a way that really doesn't work for you and your brain. My 4th tip is use your PTO. If you have PTO available to you at your job, use it as strategically as you can. So I would always take the first couple days in a semester off, and then I would take a couple days off around finals as well. And then that way I could try and get ahead in the classes that I was able to. And then during finals, obviously I would have time to study, or if there were any end of the semester things I needed to make sure that were done, projects, study for finals, whatever needed to be done, I had a couple of days I could drop the kids off at school and just have that time to really make sure that I was not forgetting anything and I was setting myself up for success for those exams, those final projects, what have you. And my 5th and final tip for you is remember your why and do not give up. So I know that that sounds obvious and corny in a way, but it really is important for you to remember why you're doing this, because there are going to be times when you want to rip your hair out and you're crying and you're having a mental breakdown and your kids are sad because they haven't seen you and you're sad because you haven't gotten to hang out with them. But you have to remember that at the end of the day, you're doing this for your family. You're doing this to improve your quality of life, their quality of life. You want to be able to provide a good life for them. If you're going into nursing, you care about people. You want to help people. And when you're working as a nurse and you're saving lives, I know it's not going to be as, wonderful as I'm making it sound like that, but when you're working as a nurse, all of this stress and this heartache is going to seem just like a blip, such a distant memory, it won't even matter to you anymore. So you cannot give up and you can't forget why you're doing this. It's gonna be hard, but you can do hard things. I believe in you. You have got this. I know you can do it. And please don't forget to reach out for help when you need it. It really does take a village, and I know that in modern times that we live in now, a lot of people don't have a village, and it's really tough. But if you can find your people, your core group of people that you're comfortable leaving your kids with or that can help you out, please, please lean on them when you can. I know it's hard. We're strong, badass women, and we want to do everything on our own, but you really do need help. And at the end of the day, that's not helping anybody if you're crumbling and you're dying inside because you're so tired and you have so much on your plate. Your kids and your partners and your families, they want to see you happy. They want to see you successful. So reach out for help. I promise people are willing to help you. They want to help you. They want to participate in your success. So please reach out for help when you can. I mean, they want to contribute to your success, but you know what I mean. Okay, you guys, well, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any tips that have helped you get through hard things, then go ahead and leave those in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe, and don't forget, you can do hard things. You have got this. We can get through it. Don't give up. You've got this. Thank you so much again for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.